Good morning. So today I am in the Old City Cemetery in Tallahassee, Florida, and I came here to see a special guest. But first I will show you around the place. So in this section lies an unknown number of Confederate dead, known but to God. And there's a Confederate flag. And then you can see the Confederate tombstones, and some of them have names and some of them have just like CSA 61-65. I actually don't know what those mean, so I didn't want to speak of them, but this one says W.J. Meeks CSA 61-65. I'm sure the CSA has to do with some time of when they served the Confederate Army. And then over here is a family plot that goes all the way back to the early 1800s. It really does. And all the way to 2018. That's pretty impressive that this family has this much heritage in this town and sadly lost a baby. Back in those days, a lot of people lost babies. But I came here to see somebody who is very interesting to me, because in Louisiana I saw the Voodoo Queen, her tomb in a Catholic park, which is very interesting because I've after that learned that Voodooism is actually a form of African American religion, not like a form of witchcraft. It actually is a religious practice. At least that's what I learned when I was there. Somebody might want to argue with me. I'm just learning things as I go. But I actually think these family tombs and family plots are kind of cool, because this is a whole family. And then like here's the Perkins plot. There's only one little tomb there. I don't really want to videotape people's names. There's also another Perkins one over here, because I want to respect privacy, even those of the dead. But as you can see, there's some pretty cool, very old tombstones here. And I'm actually not the only person here. People actually come to this graveyard to walk around. And I guess maybe share in the memory of ancestors. And then some people come to see who's going to be our special guest. But, oh, excuse me. Man, that sucks. Look at all these little lambs on here. I'm assuming that means those are all children, and that's sad. And this is gated in. I actually saw a plot like this before in dang, you'll have to excuse me, I didn't bring any water out here with me. My throat's got a pickle. I actually saw something like this in Germany, and it was for an orphanage. I'm going to go this way and videotape it. And then I will go videotape our special guest, so I can go get something to drink, because, yeah, that says B. Raka. I don't know who that is or what that means. They do have a walk-in tour, and they're supposed to have pamphlets for it, but I didn't see any in the little holder. And so I'm sort of giving myself a walking tour. But all of these tombstones and all these plots face east. Yeah, east. And then there's only one that faces west. So I thought that was weird. Why would that be? Well, I don't know exactly why that is here. There are theories. Theories are, it's because buried in here is Elizabeth Budd Graham, known as the White Witch. The White Witch was a good witch. She was known as Bessie Graham. She died at 23 years old, the mother of one. And the theory is that she is in this big plot all by herself because she's a White Witch and did good things. Now the other theory is that her family was just so distraught, had such a loss at such a young age, that they just built this big thing. But why? I'm going to take a picture of that for everybody. But why it faced west is the biggest question out here, they say. Very interesting though. It is big, it is beautiful. There's a quote from Poe on there. I took a picture of it so you could read it later if you want. But it's pretty interesting that this one faces west and all the other ones face east. And I can't remember why plots usually do face east. But you can see people have left her little treasures of shells. Some beautiful shells in this bowl. And then someone made her a spider and a necklace and a heart. A little tea set. Other jewelry, the key to their car. Just different treasures. Different blessings. And some people put some Halloween jokester blessings on there. Halloween's over. But they probably just left them here because I think it would be kind of creepy to leave a gift for somebody and then to take it back. And I don't know if people know, but I often wonder if these people have ghosts out here and if they're watching us and if they think we're just totally ridiculous. Like, do they think I'm totally ridiculous walking around a graveyard and recording things? Is that like something that crazy people do? And it's not because I believe in evil or good, or I believe in witchcraft. I just believe people are people and we're all equally capable of good and evil. But I do think graveyards are kind of cool, and I do feel connected to ancestors here. So I thought I wanted to show you the White Witch, who is buried in the Old City Cemetery in Tallahassee, Florida, because I showed you the Voodoo Queen, who was buried in the St. Louis Cemetery in New Orleans, Louisiana. But that is it. And here's the rest of the cemetery. And there actually is other people out here with me today. It's funny because most of the places I go, there's not other people. Today, there are other people out here looking at the tombstones. So I came to the other side of the cemetery because these people just told me this was a predominantly Catholic, predominantly white cemetery. But that back here, there was some interesting tales about the black community in Florida. And right here are the Proctors. Anthony Proctor, George Proctor, and John Proctor. And I will get a better view of that. I don't want to step on their stones. Get a better view of that so you could pause it to read it. But these were 3 black males who were started out as slaves, then were free men, then married enslaved women, then went on to California's gold rush, and just produced a very positive lives for the African American community. And their bottom line is, by doing great things during extraordinary times, 3 generations of Proctor men have earned a place in history. I thought that was pretty cool. Over here, just say U.S. soldier. Some have names, some don't. But they don't say north or south. And some of them died in the 1960s. So I don't believe, well, obviously that one's not from World War I. But I don't know if these are World War I or not. So I don't know if it's a north section versus a south section or not. But this is what they look like. And they don't really have years on these ones. It just says U.S. soldier. This is the one who died in 1967 at age 37. But it's a pretty cool old cemetery. And it's like they made it welcoming because it's like a park. People do come here and walk their dogs and read the stones and either remember history or learn history. I feel like I learn history if I come into these places. But I also wanted to show you, they have those big, beautiful trees with the moss that's really not moss growing on them, because I learned that that stuff's alive. Anyway, peace out. This is our little trip to the Old City Cemetery, Tallahassee, Florida, to visit the grave of the White Witch, which for some reason faces west while everything else faces east. That's a curious thing, and if anybody knows the answer to that for me, if they could post it in the comments, I would appreciate it, because I can't find anything that explains why it's that way. Alright, bye-bye!